show featuring authors and an array of musical performances from the square.
Amanda Weimer, the new executive director, says she is working to expand the show's reach. The new changes that are being made may not be directly seen by the audience members, but it's changes that they will experience throughout the year. There are also a new variety of entertainers lined up for the coming year.
The show kicked off its 26th year on September 7th. The next show will be tomorrow at the Powerhouse and next Thursday at the Lyric.
U.S. Senator and Republican candidate Tim Scott will be visiting Ole Miss this year. Scott is set to host the University of Mississippi's Declaration of Independence Center for the Study of American Freedom. The event will be held on October 27th in the Sandy and John Black Pavilion. Scott was the first African-American senator to be elected from the southern United States since the Reconstruction era. Scott will focus on the discussion of the state of American democracy and the importance of restoring faith in the country. And an Ole Miss associate professor received the coveted Hodgetts Award. Milorad Nojovic was the third person in history to receive the Richard M. Hodgetts Award. This award was created in 2002 to honor the memory of a former University of Nebraska faculty member and his contributions to business education. It is only given when the Division of Management History feels a recipient is worthy. Nojovic is currently an associate professor of management at the School of Business Administration. He said that he is honored to know that not only his name, but also the University of Mississippi will be carved on the awards wall of the Academy of Management. Congratulations, Professor.
The Oxford School District announced yesterday afternoon that approximately 80% of Oxford voters approved a $37 million school bond referendum. The money will be used to make improvements to the Early Childhood Center, Oxford High School, the middle school, the elementary school, and athletics. An Oxford man is on trial for killing his wife. David Lee Swims Jr. was accused of shooting and killing his wife back in 2021. Antietta T. Archie Swims, 36, was found dead on June 11, 2021 in her home on Spring Lake Cove in Lafayette County. She was shot 3 times and was found 3 days later. The two were separated at the time, and Swims claims he shot his wife in self-defense after she attempted to stab him. The trial for Swims began Tuesday afternoon. The trial continued today at 9 a.m. at the Lafayette County Courthouse and is expected to take about 2.5 days.
Residents of Chula are still feeling the impact of the mass shooting that took place on Friday. According to officials, a shooting began at a venue located on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Street. Chula Police Chief Kenneth Hampton says that the victim shot was Kristalina Greer Gibson. Officials say that the car used for the shooting was stolen from Jackson Police. The stolen car is now being processed to develop suspects in the case. Over half of the counties in Mississippi are on a burn ban as of yesterday afternoon. The counties included in this burn ban included Leake, Humphreys, Sunflower, Clark, Hines, Jefferson, and Lawrence. When a burn ban is in place, anything with an open flame, including bonfires and field burning, is not allowed. But residents are still able to use their gas or charcoal grills along with propane or gas heaters.
A 32-year-old man from West Memphis says he was beaten by undercover law enforcement officers Saturday night. Michael Grant was hanging out with a group of friends when the officers showed up to the Courtyard Apartments on Walker. He got on the ground as he was told, and the narcotics officer stumped him in the stomach and back. They were calling him another man's name, so he thinks it may be a case of mistaken identity. However, West Memphis police say that is unlikely. Grant is currently in the hospital for treatment. He says doctors expect him to be in the hospital at least for the rest of the week. Questions are being raised about AMR response time in D'Iberville. 12-year-old Tristan Smith was rushed to the hospital after being injured by a Jeep on Sunday afternoon. An off-duty nurse, Frank Duke, was driving with his wife and the child where the incident happened. He says, due to the critical condition, he made the decision to get Smith to the hospital as quickly as possible. According to town city manager, there have been 4 incidents since June where a Acadian ambulance has responded because AMR was not available. Currently, all cities in Harrison County are served by AMR. The contract expires in January 2024.
A train headed westbound to Jackson collided with a car last night, leaving 2 men injured. Clinton Fire Chief says that the incident happened around 8:20 on Tuesday night. According to officials, the train activated the brakes once the car stuck on the tracks was spotted. 2 men were trying to push the car off of the train tracks when the incident occurred. Both men were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. And the whole United States has a chance to secure climate grants up to $500 million. Funding for the Climate Pollution Reduction Grants program comes from the Inflation Reduction Act. The Biden administration says that applicants need to design a project to reduce global warming pollution. It should also help to create jobs and health benefits for low-income communities. The Environmental Protection Agency says it anticipates awarding grants up to 215 grants. Applications are due in the spring, and winners will receive funds next fall. And coming up, a $1 billion lawsuit has been launched from the family of a Georgia teen found dead rolled up in a gym mat.
Plus, Elon Musk has a new experiment where he is working on that is soon start human trials. These stories and more after the break.
Called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Got some news today from the radio man. He spoke the words somber and as softly as he can. The world stood still and the sky opened up. I made my way to fill up my coffee cup. Then it occurred to me as the daylight sky shone blue, today's the day that Johnny met June.
Have a good summer.
You too.
Thanks.
Hey, you must be bored.
No way.
This is the guy that I was running to in the library.
You're kind of
Yeah.
like guilty. So you like to write on desks.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Now we're starting over, it's the place that we are. You look more pretty underneath all the stars. Love is a burning thing. Oh, how I still love to hear you sing. Oh, and everything we ever heard about heaven is true. Today's the day that Johnny met you.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. The family of the Georgia teen found dead rolled up in a gym mat at his high school in 2013 has filed a $1 billion federal lawsuit. Reporter Bobeth Yates has more on the story.
They killed the wrong child, but they got the right parents, because we're going to continue to keep fighting.
Jacqueline Johnson and her husband Kenneth say they will not stop until they get the truth. They say they want to know what really caused the death of their son Kendrick Johnson. He was discovered rolled up in a gymnasium mat in 2013 at Lowndes High School, and the cause of death was ruled accidental.
Sheriff Ashley Polk said there was no bruising on Kendrick's face, there was no bruising on his body. We pulled pictures from the crime scene, photos that they gave us. The only things can make those marks is a taser or a stun gun.
During a news conference Tuesday, the Johnson family and their attorney pointed out several other inconsistencies they say are documented in a 47-page lawsuit that was filed in federal court against the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office, and the medical examiner.
For example, 2 shoes in the mat that supposedly Kendrick was reaching for when he fell. Well, the evidence that they collected and all the statements that they made to the press was it was one shoe. So clearly they fabricated the diagram in the synopsis.
And the $1 billion lawsuit alleges a cover-up.
What the Johnsons want is a full and fair opportunity to litigate, and that's what the Constitution allows.
Tennessee State University needs funding for years of back pay. The U.S. Department of Education says TSU is owed $2.1 billion in state funding. The federal government sent a letter to TSU, Bill Lee explaining the underfunding of the HBCU. Tennessee State is a land-grant college along with the University of Tennessee. Under the Second Morrill Act of 1890, the two schools should receive the same funding, but Tennessee State did not. Here's what the university president, Glenda Glover, had to say.
The good news is we've already started to work with our legislatures, state legislature, and our legislators about TSU's funding. We had the special committee that was formed, and the budget analyst for the state of Tennessee with the budget office determined $544 billion is owed to TSU.
The university was approved for $250 million by lawmakers that will go towards their infrastructure projects. A young Texas boy is still in the hospital following an attack from his neighbor with a baseball bat. Reporter Betty Cross has more on the story.
Six-year-old Jeremy remains hospitalized more than a week after a neighbor reportedly attacked him with a baseball bat in the boy's Georgetown home. According to a felony complaint against 39-year-old Daniel Logan, a detective was told by medical staff at Dell Children's that, quote, the child suffered multiple fractures to his brain and extensive brain swelling consistent with blunt force trauma. The court documents also stated that, quote, Daniel struck a 6-year-old child in the head with a baseball bat in a manner to where it was used as a deadly weapon. Jeremy and his family live on Rock Mill Loop in Georgetown. Neighbors say it's normally a quiet area. But on September 11th, Logan is also accused of hitting his mother in the face with the baseball bat, cutting her forehead, injuring her eye, and knocking out a tooth. Tonight, she's recovering, and Jeremy's father posted on this GoFundMe account that the 6-year-old is showing signs of improvement. Quote, as of this morning, the doctors are puzzled at the unexpected movements he is showing in all his limbs, as it was not expected.
An Elon Musk company is offering people a chance to use a brain implant to move. His controversial startup Neuralink says it's recruiting for its first human trial. It's working on a precise robotically implanted brain-computer interface, or PRIME for short. Participants will have a chip placed in their brains that sends signals to an app. The goal is to control a computer cursor or keyboard with their thoughts. The program is very controversial since a monkey died during trial last year.
Kraft is recalling nearly 83,000 cases of Kraft Singles American cheese. The American cheese singles could potentially pose a choking hazard. According to a company statement, a quote, thin strip of the individual film may stay on the slash wrapper after the wrapper has been removed. Kraft issued the recall after multiple customers complained of finding the plastic on its cheese. However, there have been no reported injuries or health issues. Now, let's check in with weather anchor Seth Parento for a look at our current conditions.
Well, Garyana, as it stands right now, we are looking at a temperature of 84 degrees here in Oxford with partly cloudy skies. But those partly cloudy skies may develop into a weather system heading our way over the next few hours, so make sure to stay tuned for your full forecast. NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back after this.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Two flashlights.
What's up, champ?
Flashlights, cool.
Feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm your local weather anchor, Seth Parento. Now, as it stands right now, we are looking at a current temperature of 84 degrees here in Oxford with partly cloudy skies and a slight breeze at 4 miles per hour. And if you take a look across the rest of northern Mississippi, you'll be seeing much of the same with temperatures in the upper 70s or mid to low 80s, with Tupelo and Corinth currently at our highest at 85 degrees. And as we head into this evening, temperatures will be taking a little bit of a dip to a low of 60 forms with the potential for some thunderstorms rolling our way. And actually, if we take a look at our local radar, as you can see, we have a system developing just to our west. This is us right here in Oxford, and that will be heading our way over the next few minutes and should be arriving around 6 to 6:30. So if you have any dinner plans this evening, make sure to grab a raincoat or an umbrella before you head out the door. And for tomorrow, we are looking at a high of 88 degrees here in Oxford. Temperatures will be rising a little bit, again, with partly cloudy skies and a light breeze again at 1 to 5 miles per hour. And if we take a look across the rest of northern Mississippi for tomorrow, temperatures will be remaining relatively consistent in the upper 80s with South Haven and Tupelo, with our highest locally at 89 degrees. And for your 5-day forecast, as you can see, temperatures will be remaining relatively consistent throughout the rest of the week and into the weekend, although a cold front moving in on Sunday will be bringing rain to us on Monday.
Seth, that is just not the weather forecast I wanted to hear. The rain makes me so sad.
I'm so sorry. I wish it was better news. I mean, I personally love the rain, but speaking of which, Campbell, is the rain going to be affecting any of our sports coming up?
Well, I'm really hoping not. But speaking of sports, we have coming up that the cross-country team is moving up in rankings, and we'll get an inside look into Ole Miss club hockey team. I'll have that and more up next in sports.
Takes time, takes dedication, spirit, and a greater vision. That vision starts here at the University of Mississippi. What will you be remembered by? Your character, your contributions, your friendship. Your legacy will define who we are now and who we are becoming for our state, our students, and our future. Ole Miss, build your legacy.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back. I'm Campbell Holmes with Sports Watch. Well, the Ole Miss Hockey Club's team season is in full swing, and this past weekend they faced Georgia Tech and came out on top. Sports reporter Mason Dashiell got to catch up with the team.
Tonight, I'm here at the Mid-South Ice House where your Ole Miss Hockey Club took on Georgia Tech and came out on top 5-1. Let's interview the coach and see what he has to say about the big win on tonight's season opener. Also, if you didn't know Ole Miss had a hockey club, now you do, so make sure to come out and support them at the next home game. So the season opener was tonight and Ole Miss came out on top 5-1. How do you feel after that win?
Pretty good. We've got a lot of things to work on, but all in all is a very good way to start the season.
So going into the season, what is one thing that you're really excited for?
Seeing the team come together. Last season we had some rough patches throughout the season, and it seems like this core group here is already clicking, they're already buzzing, they're already having a good time. So.
Awesome, and if you could tell one thing to any Ole Miss fans out there that want to come out and support the hockey club, what would that be?
Come out. The drive is not that bad, and the entertainment will be worth it.
You heard it from the coach. Come out and support your Ole Miss hockey team, and go Rebs.
The team's next home match is against the Mizzou Tigers on September 28th, and all home games are played at the Mid-South Ice House in Olive Branch. And taking things to the field earlier today, the SEC brought out the league schedule for the 2024 season for softball. And with this, Rebels will be seen playing in 8 weekends against SEC teams this upcoming season. Rebs will be kicking off their season with a battle against the Bulldogs from Mississippi State on the weekend of March 8th through 10th. And the season will keep rolling on quickly as they play the LSU Tigers the next weekend and Georgia the next. The team will then return to Oxford for their final time of the 2024 season on the weekend of April 26th to match up against the Auburn Tigers. And the Rebs from both the men's and women's cross-country teams have ended their first week of the season nationally ranked, with the men's team at number 23 and the women at spot 26. This is not much of a surprise for these Rebs, as this is the 58th appearance in the national poll for the men's team and the 41st for the women. This is the 39th time, though, that these two teams have been ranked at the same time just a week after taking both team titles at the Southern Showcase last Friday in Huntsville, Alabama. The teams are hoping to continue their success as they are taking a trip up to Chicago next Friday, September 29th, for the Sean Earl Lakefront Invitational hosted by Loyola. And that's all I've got for sports, so be sure to follow us at Rebel_Watch for the latest sports updates.
Have you ever wanted to take over a hotel?
Well, some teams had that chance and ran their business very well. Stay tuned to hear more of this story after the break.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter,
a college student,
a mother,
and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready
for every storm
and disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors,
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
We're here when you're ready.
We are rebels. For more than 160 years, we've been accomplishing the impossible, from conducting the world's first lung transplant to helping prove Einstein was right. From preserving the past to saving the future. We are Mississippi's flagship university, a place where passion and learning unite, where friends become family, where small-town charm meets world-class innovation. We are the University of Mississippi. We are Ole Miss.
A group of friends took a vacation to Nashville.
And it somehow turned into a work trip.
Brennan Tierney has more.
Kenzie and her friends Aaron and Noreen stepped in when they couldn't find anyone working overnight at this airport La Quinta.
God, not the phone again.
Helping people with their problems.
We don't actually charge you.
And even serving breakfast to other guests in the morning.
You got to do what you got to do in these struggling times.
The friends from Atlanta told the hotel they were checking in late after a concert for Aaron's birthday. But when they got there,
we took a second, we all just looked at each other, and we were like, what the hell?
What made you guys want to get behind the counter and help out?
When you walk into something and you see it not going so well, you have to fix it. I mean, it's just in our blood.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing for the group of bar and restaurant managers.
Need milk, Aaron.
Struggling to keep the buffet stocked and fix people's room bills.
She was just like, how can you help me? How can you help me? And I was like, I can't. I don't work here.
So they were relieved when a manager from another hotel showed up and was finally able to get them checked into a room. A spokesperson for the hotel says their overnight shift employee left early without telling anyone. They've been fired. Management is now working to make the situation right for impacted guests. The group says they had a great time helping others.
Just answering the calls and understanding what these customers are saying, it was just hysterical.
And they've actually had experience with this before.
We've been to bars where there was nobody behind the bar and we've been bartenders, so we stepped back there and worked the bar, and the same with Waffle Houses.
They're certainly hoping, though, that this is the last time.
Well, that's all we have tonight. Make sure to tune in next week. I'm Alexi Anderchek.
And I'm Garyana Williams with your latest news.
I'm Campbell Holmes with Sports Watch.
And I'm Seth Parento with Storm Watch.
Be sure to keep up with us on our socials and tune in tomorrow at 5.
NewsWatch Ole Miss, where we keep it live and keep it local.